Sitting at an asking price of $3,500 and located out in Medina, New York, this 1965 AMC Rambler American 440 is one of those classic cars that still manages to feel a little underappreciated compared to some of the bigger names from Detroit, but that's part of what makes it cool. You're not going to see another one of these parked at every car meet, and that uniqueness adds a lot of character. The seller explains right up front that this Rambler is originally an Arizona car, which is actually a big deal. Cars that spend their lives in the desert typically avoided the harsh road salt and slushy winters of the Northeast. That means the body has stayed solid and clean over the years. The only rot that really shows up is in the trunk. And the seller even points out that they've taken pictures of it, so you can see exactly what you're dealing with. No sneaky surprises or covered up rust here. For a 60-year-old AMC, that's about as honest as it gets. Mechanically, this Rambler isn't bone stock anymore. Under the hood, instead of the original engine, someone has swapped in a Chevrolet 3800 V6 paired to a heavy-duty TH400 automatic transmission. The 3800, also known as a Buick V6, has one of the best reputations of any GM engine. They're smooth, reliable, and have no problem racking up hundreds of thousands of miles with basic maintenance. The TH400 transmission is just as legendary. It's been used in everything from muscle cars to heavy-duty trucks, and it's known for being strong, dependable, and able to handle power. That combination might not be what AMC originally built the car with, but it makes for a very practical setup if you're looking for something you can actually enjoy on the road. The seller mentions the car has brand new tires mounted up and a fresh exhaust system, so the basics have already been addressed. That means you don't have to worry about unsafe, dry-rotted tires or a rusted-out muffler the day you pick it up. The car runs and drives as it sits, though the seller does note that it could use a bit of fine-tuning. Maybe a carb adjustment, timing tweak, or just dialing things in after the engine swap. That's normal for a project car, and honestly kind of fun if you're into the mechanical side of things. These AMC Ramblers actually make surprisingly nice hot rods. They're lightweight, the proportions are right, and because they're not as collectible as a Mustang or a Camaro, you don't feel guilty about modifying them. You can go mild with a cruiser look, go wild with drag strip build, or just clean it up and enjoy it as a quirky classic. And since the seller has a clean New York registration for it, you don't have to jump through hoops with the DMV or stress about paperwork. They even make it clear that the ad is still up, the car is still available, no games, no endless, is this still for sale messages. They prefer you just drop your number in the comments if you're serious, and they'll give you a call to talk details. At $3,500, this is one of those approachable entry points into classic car ownership where you can get your hands dirty without emptying your wallet. Number 2, coming in at $3,700 and based in Buffalo, New York, this 1989 Oldsmobile 88 Royale Sedan 4D is the definition of a survivor from the late 1980s. Back when Oldsmobile was still building big, comfortable, traditional sedans before GM phased them out. The seller stresses that the interior is clean and the body is solid with no rust, which is especially rare for any car that spent time in upstate New York. That alone is worth paying attention to, because most cars from that region have rust bubbling under the doors, along the fenders, or creeping up the frame rails. Not here. This one has been preserved. Under the hood lies the real gem of the car, GM's 3800 V6 engine. The seller proudly calls it one of the best engines out there, and for good reason. This motor has a reputation for running forever, with many examples easily crossing the 200,000 or even 300,000 mile mark. It's smooth, torquey enough to move a full-size sedan around with ease, and surprisingly efficient for its time. Combine that with the fact that the seller describes this car as having low miles, and you're looking at a drivetrain that still has plenty of life left in it. The only things it really needs are a wheel alignment and some new suspension bushings. Both are fairly routine wear and tear items, especially on a 36-year-old sedan, and they're relatively inexpensive to take care of compared to major engine or transmission repairs. In other words, the bones of the car are solid. It just needs a little TLC to get it back to riding like a brand new Olds. One thing the seller makes clear is how they want to handle communication. They flat out say they will not answer a question, is this still available? And if you send that message, they'll block you immediately. Their point is simple. They're only using Marketplace to expand the reach of their listing, not to waste time going back and forth with tire kickers. If you're serious, you'll message them with actual interest or come take a look. That straightforward attitude means they probably want to sell quickly and don't have patience for games. For under $4,000, this is a big, comfortable, rust-free, low-mileage Oldsmobile with a bulletproof 3800 under the hood. Whether you want an affordable daily driver that stands out in traffic, a quirky weekend cruiser, or even a solid platform to start customizing, this Olds 88 Royale is a deal you don't stumble across every day. Number 3. Offered at $7,800 and located in Swannanoa, North Carolina, this 1982 Ford Fairmont sedan is the sort of car that makes you do a double take because you just don't see them anymore, especially not this clean. The Fairmont was Ford's bread-and-butter family car in the late 70s and early 80s, but most of them got used up, rusted out, and eventually scrapped. That's why finding one with just 39,000 original miles is such a rare treat. This one has been fully refreshed inside and out, making it stand out as one of the nicest survivors of the Fox body era. The powertrain is classic for its simplicity, a tried-and-true inline-six engine paired to an automatic transmission. It's not a high-horsepower monster, but that's not the point. It's reliable, smooth, and economical, which is exactly what made the Fairmont appealing when it was new. The seller says the engine bay is tidy, and the car runs just as good as it looks, which is saying something considering how much cosmetic work has been done. Speaking of cosmetics, the exterior has had a full professional respray, giving the body a deep shine and factory fresh look. The paint isn't just slapped on, it's smooth and even, showing attention to detail. Inside, the cabin has been completely redone with fresh upholstery, new carpeting, and a new headliner. So stepping into this Fairmont feels almost like stepping back in time to a showroom in the early 80s. The dashboard, gauges, and trim pieces are all intact, and everything functions as it should. It's even equipped with working air conditioning, which is rare to see in a car this age. That makes it more usable if you want to daily drive it or take it on summer road trips. It's the little touches like that which set this Fairmont apart from being just another old car. It's been cared for, updated, and made ready for real use. The best part about this Fairmont is that it's unique. While everyone else is chasing muscle cars and pony cars, this gives you the chance to own something different, something that tells a story. It's an early Fox body platform, which means it even shares some DNA with the legendary Mustang of the era. But instead of being loud and aggressive, it's understated, comfortable, and reliable. A car that turns heads not because it's flashy, but because it's unusual and exceptionally clean. At $7,800, it's priced to reflect the work that's gone into it, but still affordable for anyone who wants a vintage car that's ready to go. Number 4. Here's a true oddball classic. A 1973 Lincoln Continental stretch limousine, sitting down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, with an asking price of just $3,900. Only 113 of these formal limousines were custom built by Andy H. Houghton and Associates in '73, which makes this a very rare sight today. Most people have never even seen one in person, and for under $4,000, you have the chance to own something that's equal parts history and conversation piece. This car measures nearly 19 feet long, which means it's not just transportation. It's an event every time it rolls down the road. Under the hood is a big block V8 paired to a traditional automatic transmission, and the odometer shows just over 77,000 original miles. For a limo, that's relatively low, since many of these cars were driven hard and long for professional service. The seller says it starts, runs, and drives, which is impressive for a nearly 50-year-old limousine. They've already tackled a lot of the basics, too. The car has a brand new exhaust system, a fully rebuilt brake setup, fresh fuel components, and 4 brand new tires. That makes it mechanically sound enough to actually drive, not just park in a field. Inside, the limo still has its divider window and jump seats, keeping the authentic chauffeur up front, passengers in back configuration. The interior shows some age and would benefit from cosmetic updates, but it's still a time capsule of 1970s luxury. Now, the car isn't perfect. The roof does have rust holes that need repair, but the frame is solid, which is the important part. This is a project with endless possibilities. You could restore it back to its formal limo glory, turn it into a crazy party bus resto mod, or even use it as a promotional vehicle to advertise a business. However you slice it, you're starting with a rare piece of American coach-built history for a very low buy-in. At $3,900, this Lincoln is more than just a car. It's a conversation starter, a rolling piece of nostalgia, and a chance to build something truly one of a kind. Number 5. Last but not least, offered at $5,000 and located in Helena, Alabama, is this 1965 Ford Galaxie 500 LTD. If you're into big-bodied V8-powered 60s classics that can rumble as loud as they look, this is exactly the kind of car that makes people smile. It's got the right bones, the right upgrades, and just enough work left to do that it feels like a real project without being overwhelming. Power comes from a rebuilt 352 cubic inch V8, which has been upgraded with an aluminum intake manifold for better airflow, an HEI distributor for strong spark, and a set of hooker headers that feed into dual exhaust with Flowmaster 40 series mufflers. That setup gives it a mean, aggressive exhaust note, the kind that echoes the neighborhood and makes people turn their heads before they even see the car coming. The transmission is a rebuilt FMX Cruise-O-Matic automatic, which shifts smoothly and holds up well behind the V8. Up front, the brakes have been converted to disc brakes, which is a huge safety improvement compared to the original drums. It also comes with a vintage-style ASC system already installed, though it needs a recharge before it'll blow cold. Cosmetically, the Galaxie is pretty solid overall. The seller points out a couple things it needs. The alternator setup is currently running a GM-style one-wire configuration and needs to be either rewired or replaced, and the tires should be replaced before doing any serious driving. But those are relatively minor issues compared to the big stuff, like the engine, transmission, and body, which are all in good condition. What makes this car attractive is that it's already most of the way there mechanically, but still leaves you room to put your own stamp on it. You could restore it to factory spec, keep tweaking it as a hot rod, or just get it roadworthy and enjoy it as a loud, proud weekend cruiser. The seller is even open to offers or trades, so there's room for negotiation. For $5,000, you're getting a big slice of mid-60s Ford muscle luxury with a rebuilt V8, performance upgrades, and a ton of potential. It's a car with character, presence, and the kind of sound that makes people grin every time you fire it up. Number 6. Offered for $5,000 and located right in Washington, D.C., this 1969 Pontiac Bonneville is one of those truly big-bodied, road-commanding American classics that just scream late 1960s design and engineering. Back then, Pontiac was riding high on a reputation of building cars that weren't only stylish, but also fast, powerful, and comfortable. The Bonneville sat near the top of the lineup, so it was a car for someone who wanted presence, wanted luxury, and still wanted the muscle of a big Pontiac V8 under that extra long hood. Seriously, these cars were built with hoods you could practically land a plane on. You got the original 428 cubic inch V8. This was a torque monster of an engine, the kind of motor that could push you down the highway with the lightest touch of your foot. It wasn't about high-strung horsepower or screaming revs. It was about effortless pull, smooth acceleration, and the confidence of knowing that whenever you needed to pass someone, you had plenty of power to do it. Paired with that engine is a 400 turbo hydromatic transmission, which is legendary in GM circles for being both smooth and bulletproof. A lot of these transmissions outlived the cars they were bolted into together. This powertrain makes for a car that doesn't just look good in the driveway, but is perfectly capable of running down the interstate at speed all day long. Now, this isn't a perfect showpiece. It's an honest survivor. The seller says it runs and drives, which already puts it a step above a lot of project cars that haven't moved in decades. What it needs most is cosmetic love. The paint has long since faded. The shine is gone, and there's visible rust around the rear window. Anyone who's been around these cars knows that's a common problem area, so it's not unexpected. The good news is that beyond the rust spots, the bones of the car seem solid. More importantly, it hasn't been cut up or ruined. No wild modifications, no hot rod hack jobs, no stripping of parts. It's still largely original, and that's increasingly rare. Inside, it still carries a lot of its factory options that were high-end back in the day. Power windows, cruise control, tilt steering, all the little luxuries that made a big difference in 1969. This wasn't a bare-bones car. This was a gentleman's cruiser, a car you could take the family across the country in without breaking a sweat, at $5,000 or best offer, with the seller being firm about no trades. This Bonneville really does represent an opportunity. You're getting a true, full-size Pontiac from the golden era of Detroit. Sure, it's not perfect, but it's complete, it's running, and it's a car you can build on while still enjoying it in the meantime. If you've been craving a project that's not just another Camaro or Mustang, something with real presence, comfort, and history, this big Bonneville is exactly the kind of classic worth jumping on before they completely disappear. Number 7. Up for sale in Utica, New York, is this 1979 Ford Thunderbird Heritage Edition, a car that manages to combine late 70s style with genuine survivor quality. Priced at $7,500 or best offer, it's not just a random used car. It's a California-born example, rust-free, and loaded with originality. The fact that it's documented with just 85,000 original miles makes it even more appealing. The late 70s T-Birds were all about personal luxury. These weren't sports cars. They were cars built for cruising comfortably, turning heads with bold styling, and giving their owners a sense of prestige. This particular example, being a Heritage Edition, came with higher trim and detailing, making it one of the more desirable variants. Pop the hood, and you'll find a dependable 5.8 V8, a motor that was never about outright speed, but about smooth, consistent performance. Paired with an automatic transmission, this drivetrain makes for relaxed highway driving. You could cruise for hours without fatigue. What makes this Thunderbird stand out even more is its condition. Having lived its early years in California, it escaped the snow, salt, and rain that destroyed so many cars from this era. Even after being brought to New York, the car has never seen snow or rain. The undercarriage is still clean, the metal still solid, and that alone is something enthusiasts will appreciate. The car has only had 2 owners, which says a lot about how it's been treated. The current owner has all the service records since it came to New York, so you know exactly what's been done to keep it healthy. That kind of documentation is rare in classics of this price range. Styling-wise, this T-Bird really embodies late 70s automotive design. The long hood, the formal roofline, the sheer presence of it sitting in a driveway, all of it speaks to a time when personal luxury coupes were a serious statement. These cars are starting to get more attention because they represent a unique chapter in Ford's history, and finding one in this kind of condition is not easy. If you're a collector, a Ford enthusiast, or just someone who loves the idea of a stylish and dependable cruiser with history behind it, this Thunderbird is an excellent candidate. It's hard to find rust-free classics in the Northeast, and harder still to find one that's well documented and preserved. Number 8. Down in Hickory, North Carolina, there's a 1969 Oldsmobile 98 sitting and waiting for a new owner. The asking price is $8,000, and what you're getting is Oldsmobile's flagship luxury car from the late 60s. The 98 was the top of the line, the one that carried the most prestige and the most features, and this example, with just over 66,000 miles, still carries a lot of its original dignity. Finished in a deep blue exterior with a contrasting white interior, the car looks every bit the part of a late 60s American luxury cruiser. It's big, it's elegant, and it has that unmistakable Oldsmobile styling that's set apart from Cadillac or Buick. Inside and out, it appears to be mostly complete and largely original. That's an important detail, because many of these cars either got parted out over the years or modified beyond recognition. The car comes with an automatic transmission, as you'd expect, and it was known when new for its smooth and quiet ride. Right now, it's been sitting for some time, so it's not road ready. Anyone buying should expect to go through the usual checklist: fluids, brakes, tune-up, maybe some fuel system work. The important part is that it's all there, and the mileage suggests it hasn't been overused or abused. Some might argue $8,000 is steep for a car that doesn't currently run, but when you factor in the originality, the low mileage, and the sheer presence of a 98, the price starts to make more sense. These cars were known for being whisper quiet inside, capable of gliding down the road like a living room on wheels. They had plenty of V8 power for the highways of their day, and restoring one is as much about recapturing that smoothness as it is about the looks. As a project, this Oldsmobile is an excellent candidate. Whether you want to take it back to Concours level restoration or simply get it running and enjoy it as a vintage cruiser, it has the bones and the style to be a rewarding car. Number 9. Offered in Prattville, Alabama, this 1963 Mercury Monterey Custom is priced at $6,500, and it's a sharp example of early 60s full-size American style. What makes this one stand out immediately is the mileage. Just 36,000 miles on the odometer. That's extremely low for a car that's over 60 years old, and it means this Monterey has seen a relatively gentle life. Dressed in an all-white exterior with a matching white interior, the car carries a clean, almost elegant look that suits the era perfectly. The seller notes its running and driving, which already puts it ahead of many other classics at this price point. Under the hood is a V8 paired to an automatic transmission, delivering that easy, big car ride that defined cars of this size. Inside, the car is still equipped with factory air conditioning. The blower motor works, but it needs a recharge to blow cold again. That's a small detail, but it matters because factory AC wasn't always common in cars of this age, and having it adds to the originality and appeal. There's a bit of quirky history here too. The side of the car still has a phone number painted on it from a previous owner. Some people might love that touch of authenticity, while others will see it as a repaint project waiting to happen. Either way, it gives the Monterey some extra personality. The seller is also open to trades, particularly for sport bikes, so there's flexibility here if you've got something interesting to offer. Whether you're looking at it as a weekend cruiser, a restoration project, or just an affordable way into the classic car world, this Monterey offers a lot. With low miles, solid bones, and period charm, it's a great way to own a piece of Mercury history without breaking the bank. Number 10. Located in Nashville, Tennessee, this 1987 Mercury Grand Marquis Coupe is a rare survivor, priced at $6,800. By the late 80s, most big American cars were being sold as 4-doors, and coupes were on their way out. That makes this 2-door Grand Marquis something of a unicorn, hard to find, and increasingly appreciated by enthusiasts who want something different. This one shows 145,000 miles, which means it's been used but not abused. It's powered by a V8 engine and paired with an automatic transmission, and the seller says it's in good mechanical condition. These Panda platform cars were known for being tough, reliable, and surprisingly comfortable. Even today, they can handle regular driving duties if maintained properly. The seller doesn't go into great detail about the interior or its service history, but the car has a clean title and appears to be an honest, unrestored example. That's appealing for someone who wants a blank slate. Nothing has been hacked up or customized, so you can decide whether to keep it original, restore it, or modify it to your taste. The real highlight here, though, is the coupe body style. Most people have seen the 4-door Grand Marquis sedans, but the 2-door has a sportier, more personal vibe while still keeping all the chrome, size, and comfort you'd expect from a Mercury of this era. It's a statement car in its own way, big, bold, and unmistakably 80s. For someone who appreciates boxy styling, rare body styles, or just wants a comfortable V8 powered cruiser that stands out in a crowd, this Grand Marquis Coupe is a smart buy. It's affordable, it's unique, and it's a piece of Mercury history that's only getting harder to find as time goes on. Number 11. Offered at $7,000 and sitting in East Northport, New York, this 1978 Ford F-250 Dentside is more than just an old pickup truck. It's a symbol of late 1970s American toughness, the kind of machine that was built during a time when trucks were meant to work first and look good second. This particular example carries all the hallmarks of that era. Bold, squared-off styling, a long body that seems to stretch forever, and that unmistakable heavy-duty stance that lets you know this truck was built for serious business. Under the hood, you'll find the big 460 cubic inch V8 engine, one of Ford's most powerful gas motors of its day. Known for its deep reserves of torque, this engine was a go-to choice for folks who needed a truck that could haul trailers, carry heavy loads, or just thunder down a highway with authority. Paired to an automatic transmission, it makes driving this beast manageable, whether you're crawling through traffic or cruising down back roads with that classic V8 soundtrack following you. The seller is completely upfront about what you're getting. This truck isn't a shiny garage queen. It has scars and stories written across its body. Rust is visible in several areas, including the fender flares, the bed floor, and the driver's side floor pan. That's to be expected in a truck that's lived life the way it was meant to. But here's the upside. Included in the deal, if you're willing to pay the asking price or negotiate reasonably close, are replacement bed sides and fenders taken from a rust-free donor. That's huge, because sourcing good sheet metal for these old Dentsides isn't always easy. Mechanically, the truck holds its own. It starts up without drama, idles with confidence, and is ready to get to work. There's an exhaust leak that the seller points out, but it doesn't stop the truck from being drivable, and for most old truck people, that's a small issue compared to the big picture. At its core, this is a survivor, a truck that has lasted through decades of use and still runs strong. It hasn't been dolled up to hide its flaws, and that honesty is part of its appeal. You can take it as it is, use it for local hauling, yard work, or the occasional dump run. Or you can go the restoration route and give it new life with the included panels. The seller strongly encourages potential buyers to come see it in person, because pictures don't tell the whole story. The way it looks, the way it sounds, even the way it smells, it all adds to the experience of owning a vintage truck like this. For anyone who loves late 70s Ford pickups, especially the Dentsides that are growing more collectible each year, this truck represents an honest opportunity. Whether you restore it, preserve it, or just drive it as a rolling piece of American history, it's ready for someone who knows exactly what it is and what it can be. Number 12. Priced at $7,500 and located in Sheboygan, Michigan, this 1966 Dodge Coronet 500 is a Mopar time capsule with tons of potential. The Coronet nameplate was Dodge's bread-and-butter midsize offering in the 1960s, and the 500 trim represented a step up from the basic model, giving owners more luxury touches, while still keeping the muscular proportions and clean styling that make these cars so attractive today. With just 57,000 miles claimed, this car has lived a relatively gentle life compared to most, and you can see it in the details. The original factory paint, though showing its age, still clings proudly to the body panels. The vinyl roof remains well preserved, and the overall presence of the car tells you it hasn't been messed with or chopped up. That originality counts for a lot in today's market, where so many classics have been heavily modified. Pop the hood and you'll find a 273 cubic inch V8 engine, a dependable small block that Dodge offers a solid, everyday motor. It's backed by an automatic transmission, making it easy for anyone to get behind the wheel and enjoy. The drivetrain is in running condition, but as the seller mentions, it'll need a little bit of love to be truly road ready. The brakes and exhaust system need attention, which isn't surprising for a car that spent more time parked than driven in recent years. The beauty here is that you don't need to pull the whole car apart to enjoy it. With a modest investment of time and money, it could be back on the road in no time. Cosmetically, you'll find evidence of some older repairs, but nothing overdone. It hasn't been slathered in Bondo or repainted 10 times. What you see is largely what Dodge sent out of the factory nearly 6 decades ago. That authenticity makes it appealing, especially for someone who appreciates a preservation style build rather than a flashy restoration. To add even more value, the seller is including a stash of new parts with the sale, which save you from hunting down replacements and gives you a head start on the project. The car comes with a clean title, giving you peace of mind, and the seller is open to trades, specifically mentioning trucks, so they're clearly an enthusiast open to possibilities. They also make it clear they don't want to waste time with casual tire kickers, asking buyers to reach out only if they're serious. Altogether, this Coronet 500 offers an enticing mix of originality, history, and potential. For the Mopar enthusiast who wants a car with solid bones that hasn't been over-restored, this is an affordable entry point into the world amid 60 S Dodge classics, and one that you can enjoy while you improve it over time. Number 13. At just $2,000 or best offer, this 1983 Buick Electra Park Avenue in Chatfield, Minnesota is an affordable doorway into the world of vintage American luxury. By the early 80s, Buick's Park Avenue was one of the most comfortable full-size sedans on the road, a car that emphasized smoothness and refinement over raw performance. With 129,000 miles showing on the odometer, this car has lived a long but respectable life, and it's still powered by the Oldsmobile 307 cubic inch V8 engine, a reliable workhorse of its time, made it a 4-speed overdrive automatic. This was an engine built for drag races, but rather for calm, confident cruising, the kind of driving where you barely notice the miles slipping away. According to the seller, the car still runs and drives well, and has been given some thoughtful updates to keep it going strong. Brand new tires and a fresh battery mean you're not starting from scratch. Someone has already spent money where it counts. Step inside, and you're greeted with the original leather interior, the kind of thick, soft seating that feels like you're sitting in your own living room chair. Buick designed these cars to feel like rolling living rooms, and this Park Avenue still delivers on that promise. Being a top trim model, it comes with all the little touches Buick used to separate itself from the pack. Wood grain accents, plush upholstery, and chrome details that gave an upscale feel. Of course, a car at this price point and from this part of the country will show rust. It's not a surprise, and it's not a deal breaker. What you're getting here isn't a concours-ready show car, but a charming, usable classic that can either be enjoyed as a quirky daily driver or slowly restored by someone who wants to relive the golden days of Buick luxury. The seller notes that they're helping their father move the car along, and they stress that they only want serious inquiries. This isn't just an old beater, it's a piece of automotive nostalgia. For someone who has always wanted to experience the smooth, floaty ride of a big rear-wheel drive Buick without breaking the bank, this Electra Park Avenue offers a lot of car for very little money. Number 14. Available in Portsmouth, Ohio for $7,500. This 1976 Ford Mustang II Ghia represents a fascinating chapter in the Mustang's history. While the Mustang II has often been criticized for being smaller and less powerful than the original 60s Mustangs, enthusiasts are beginning to appreciate these cars for what they truly are: compact, stylish revivers of the 1970s, and increasingly rare to find in this kind of original condition. This particular Ghia is finished in period-correct gold paint, complete with matching vinyl roof and tan interior, which gives it the ultimate 70s vibe. With only 50,000 original miles, it's clearly been spared the hard use that sent so many Mustang IIs to scrapyard. Power comes from Ford's 2.8-liter V6 engine paired to an automatic transmission. No, it's not a muscle car, but it was never meant to be. It's a stylish, easygoing cruiser, perfect for weekend drives and local car shows. The seller has taken care of some important maintenance, installing new shocks, a new battery, and even upgrading the sound system with a retro-style Bluetooth radio, so you can enjoy modern convenience without losing the vintage look of the interior. The Ghia trim was the top of the line, meaning this Mustang comes with upgraded seats, wood grain dash accents, and extra exterior trim that set it apart from the base models. These details matter today because they're part of what makes the car unique. And as time goes on, well-preserved examples like this one are only getting harder to find. The seller describes it as fun to drive, and you can imagine turning heads thanks to its distinctive size and styling. It comes with a clean title, and the seller is even open to trades, mentioning a particular interest in manual BMW Z3S or Z4S, which suggests they're a car enthusiast themselves. For someone who wants an affordable, distinctive way into Mustang ownership, or simply a different flavor of American classic car, this Ghia delivers a lot of personality for money. Number 15. Listed for $5,500 in West Islip, New York, this 1963 Chevrolet Impala SS is a textbook definition of a project with big rewards on the horizon. The 1963 Impala is one of the most iconic full-size Chevrolets of all time, and the SS Super Sport badge makes it even more desirable. This isn't a tribute or a clone. It's the real deal SS, a car that collectors and hot rodders alike seek out. But make no mistake, it's a project. The seller is honest about its condition. The floors are completely rotted out, the trunk pan has major rust, and it'll need a full restoration from the ground up. For someone looking for a car that can be driven tomorrow, this isn't it. But for the right buyer, the kind who sees potential rather than problems, it could be a diamond in the rough. The beauty of a genuine Impala SS is the flexibility it offers. You could go for a factory-correct restoration, hunting down the right period drivetrain and trim to bring it back to showroom condition, or you could go in a completely different direction, building a Restomod with modern LS engine, upgraded suspension, and custom interior. Either way, starting with a real SS adds value from day one. Even in its current state, the car still carries that unmistakable Impala silhouette, long, low, and effortlessly cool. It's a kind of car that, when finished, will draw crowds at any show. The seller knows what they have, and they're not pretending it's better than it is. But they're also pricing it fairly, recognizing the potential upside for someone willing to put in the work. For enthusiasts who have always wanted to own a 63 SS but couldn't afford a finished one, this could be the entry point you've been waiting for. It's raw, it's rare, and it's ready for someone to give it the second life it deserves. Number 16. Offer at $7,500 and located in Hackettstown, New Jersey. This 1977 Pontiac Grand Prix is one of those cars that immediately pulls you back into a different era the moment you lay eyes on it. The seller proudly refers to it as wearing chocolate charm, and honestly, it's a fitting name because the color and presentation of this car really give off a rich, bold, and stylish aura. Back in the late 1970s, the Pontiac Grand Prix stood as one of the premier personal luxury coupes that mixed muscle, size, and sophistication in a way that few other cars could. From the sweeping curves of its long hood to the way the roofline blends down into the rear deck, this two-door coupe has all the hallmarks of that old-school swagger that so many enthusiasts are chasing today. The seller describes the car as super clean and sweet running, which tells you right away that this isn't some rough-around-the-edges project sitting in the corner of a lot waiting for rescue. This one is already up and running, already sorted, and ready for you to jump in and enjoy. The exterior paint shines, the chrome looks right, and the overall stance of the car carries that unmistakable Pontiac vibe. You don't even need the full details under the hood to know this machine has presence. Though it's worth noting that cars like these often came with a choice of strong V8 engines that delivered plenty of highway passing power and that classic American muscle sound. Slide behind the wheel and you're greeted with a driver-focused cockpit, a long dash stretching across, and big comfortable seats meant for cruising. This wasn't a small car by any means. It had presence, width, and a road-dominating feel. But that's exactly what makes it special. It's from a time when cars were supposed to make a statement. Whether you're just out on a Sunday drive with the windows rolled down and some old tunes on the radio, or rolling into town where heads are guaranteed to turn, this Grand Prix delivers the full experience. The seller even throws a cheeky, unapologetic tagline: "Cruise like a pimp." That one line sums it up perfectly. This is a ride for someone who doesn't mind standing out, someone who wants people to look twice, someone who wants their car to say something about their personality. So if you've been searching for a big body, vintage American coupe that still oozes charisma and still has that undeniable cool factor, this 1977 Pontiac Grand Prix might be the perfect fit. Number 17. Offered at $4,500 or best offer and located in Cambridge, Maryland, this 1980 Chevrolet Impala blends the clean, boxy styling of early 1980s full-size American sedans with a dash of modern customization that gives it real presence on the street. The first thing you notice is that this Impala is tall on a set of massive 24-inch chrome rims wrapped in brand new tires. That upgrade alone transforms the look of the car, giving it a tougher, flashier personality while still keeping the underlying DNA of that iconic Chevy sedan intact. Under the hood sits a tried-and-true 350 cubic inch V8, one of Chevrolet's most famous engines. It's a motor known for its reliability, its easy-to-source parts, and its ability to take on miles and miles without breaking a sweat. Paired with a straightforward automatic transmission, this Impala isn't just about looking good. It runs and drives exactly how it should, and that makes it just as dependable as it is stylish. The seller also makes it clear that the title is clean, which gives peace of mind to anyone thinking about picking up this old-school cruiser. The Impala's vibe is clear. It's more than transportation. It's a statement. Drive this car through town, park at a local meet, or just cruise the boulevard on a summer night, and it's going to grab attention. The chrome wheels sparkle. The boxy lines draw on those who love retro styling, and the engine note reminds people this is still a classic V8 powered machine. Interestingly, the seller is also open to trades. Specifically, they mention interest in a V8 Mustang with a 5-speed manual, a street bike, or another clean car of similar value. What they don't want, and they emphasize this in the listing, is junk. That tells you they know the value of what they're selling and want a fair, clean swap or sale. For someone in the market for a big-bodied Chevy with personality and potential, this Impala offers a solid base. It's already got the stance, already got the wheels, already got the power plant, All that's left is for you to bring your own style, your own attitude, and make it fully yours. Number 18. Offered at $6,000 and located in Keokuk, Iowa, this 1985 Lincoln Town Car Executive is about as prime an example as you'll find amid 1980s American luxury at its finest. The Lincoln Town Car has always been synonymous with comfort, presence, and timeless design, and this particular car shows just how well these machines can age when cared for properly. With only 92,000 miles on the odometer, it's practically a baby compared to what these big Lincolns are known to handle. Many easily surpass double or triple that mileage when properly maintained. The exterior wears an elegant shade of gold, giving a classy, upscale vibe that was perfectly in line with Lincoln's image during the 1980s. Complementing that is a beige interior that matches beautifully, along with restored dove gray vinyl top that looks fresh and premium. That vinyl top alone gives a car that unmistakable executive feel, the kind of look that one signals success and sophistication. Pop the hood, and you'll find a reliable V8 engine paired with a smooth-shifting automatic transmission. These cars were built to glide, not to race, and everything about the mechanical setup is designed to deliver an effortless driving experience. You sit in soft, plush seats, the car floats down the road with ease, and before you know it, you're covering miles in total comfort. What makes this example even more appealing is the amount of recent maintenance the seller has already invested in. New brake lines have been installed, belts replaced, a new fuel pump fitted, and the carburetor freshly serviced. That means a lot of the potential headaches of owning a vintage car have already been addressed. On top of that, the Lincoln also comes with a modernized stereo system complete with a subwoofer, which makes cruising even more enjoyable. You get the classic feel of an 80s luxury sedan with the added benefit of upgraded sound. The seller mentions this car is regularly used for long-distance commutes, which speaks volumes about its reliability. This isn't a car that's just been sitting in a garage looking pretty. It's been actively enjoyed and proven on the road. For the next owner, that means confidence. Confidence that you can drive it daily if you choose, or simply keep it as a pampered weekend classic. Either way, this is a standout example of an 80s Lincoln, and the seller proudly calls it one of the cleanest around. Number 19. Available for $5,000 or best offer, and located in Atala, Alabama, this 1985 Chevrolet S10 regular cab pickup is far from ordinary. On the outside, it may look like a clean, compact truck, but underneath it packs a surprise, a properly executed V8 swap. That's right, this S10 is running a 350 small block Chevy engine, made into a turbo 350 automatic transmission, complete with an outlaw shifter that adds an extra edge to the driving experience. With only 76,000 miles showing, the truck itself still has plenty of life left in it. But it's the modifications that really set it apart. Finished in black with a bold red interior, the combination gives it that classic hot rod look that screams muscle. The bed has been freshly sprayed, which not only makes it practical for hauling, but also gives a clean, well-finished appearance. This isn't a hack-together swap. It's the kind of setup that was done with thought and purpose. The stance is aggressive. The exhaust note is likely deep and mean, and the whole truck gives off the personality of a street-ready machine that's meant to be driven hard and shown off. For someone who wants a thrill of a muscle car but likes the uniqueness of having that power in a compact pickup, this is a dream setup. The seller notes that they're open to trades as well, which makes this an interesting opportunity for enthusiasts who might want to shake things up in their garage. Overall, this S10 delivers muscle car fun in a smaller, more unique package. And that's something that definitely turns heads at local shows, meets, or just rolling down the street. Number 20. Located in Massapequa, New York, this 1988 Dodge Ramcharger is being sold as either a restoration candidate or a parts vehicle, offered with a clear title and a straightforward cash-only deal. These Ramchargers have been gaining popularity in recent years, as enthusiasts recognize them as rugged, full-size two-door SUVs with serious off-road capability and tons of personality. This particular truck is described as complete and still running, which is already a positive sign for anyone considering a restoration. Under the hood sits a 318 cubic inch V8, a reliable workhorse of an engine. The seller states it runs without smoke or unusual noises, something you always want to hear when considering an older project vehicle. Even better, the drivetrain appears intact. Both the front and rear differentials, as well as the transfer case, are said to be in working order, which is crucial for anyone wanting to restore this truck into a capable 4x4. All the glass is good, and the rear gate is fiberglass, a detail that's becoming increasingly rare and valuable on these trucks. That being said, the Ramcharger will need to be towed. It's not currently roadworthy, meaning that while it runs, it still requires work before it can hit the highway or trails again. For the right person, that's part of the appeal. It's a blank canvas waiting to be brought back to life. The seller is straightforward. If the listing is up, the truck is still available. They encourage interested buyers to reach out via private message for more details. But be prepared. You'll need cash, a trailer, and a vision to either restore this SUV into a rugged classic or strip it for valuable parts. Either way, it represents an increasingly rare opportunity to own a piece of Dodge's SUV history.